Hey, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That is the name of the Father and the name of his Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the nation of Yashar Allah, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom and salutations to all the sincere Akim as well, who pushed his word throughout the four corners in truth and in sincerity, in season and out of season. I was just looking through the daily verses, and this one was on there, and it's a good verse. So I wanted to share it. Matthew 5:30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So, this is talking about, the body, your church, the brotherhood. You got someone that's not getting together. They can't get right. They're not doing what they're supposed to do according to spirit, according to the book. Okay. Hey, that you got to get rid of them, man. Because it's one thing to talk, but it's another thing to actually do. And like it says in James, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves, man. So don't deceive yourself. You actually have to do what's written. And being a brother is hard for a nigga, man. Just to be a brother is way too hard for a nigga. So, for brothers that are in leadership positions, you gotta, constantly you gotta be checking people out. Even though, and that's the reason why, even though the brothers have been there for years or months, that's even more reason to constantly check, because we're in the flesh. You have something that's called complacency, which will get a hold of us, all of us, and you always got to constantly be doing that self-examination. Examine thyself. You have to be doing that, and it's easy to get even complacent on yourself. And the beautiful thing about a true brotherhood is they're going to tell you when you're going off. And sometimes it might be in small voices. Sometimes it's in a big voice. And what I mean by that is, like, a brother be like, hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't do that. Check yourself. And brother be like, it's all good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then another brother might catch it or say, hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't do that. Or maybe you should actually start doing this, or whatever the case is. But it comes small, Hey, you don't want to ignore those warnings. The brother's not saying some shit, just to waste oxygen and move his lips. He's giving you some admonishment. He's giving you some exhortation. He's giving you some rebuke. So you're supposed to be happy that he's even looking out for you like that, man. Okay, but for those that can't be turned around, okay, it is more profitable, well, actually, cut it off and cast it from thee. It says, if thy right hand offend thee. Your right hand is, most people in the world are right-handed. That's your dominant hand. You need that to do everything. Right? You need that to do everything. So something that's close, okay, if it offends thee, you got to cut it off and cast it from thee. Okay? You got to constantly be trimming the fat, man. Okay? Because it is profitable for you that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And how inconsiderate is that for one person to have everyone else go down around him? He's not caring about the lives of those around him himself. That's a real piece of shit. You got to get rid of that guy, man. Okay? You got to be constantly worried about the men around you. That's a good shepherd. When the wolf comes in any way, shape, or form to destroy the flock, you don't run, man. You stay there and you defend the sheep. If Yahweh Shai told us to feed the sheep, you think that was it? Just go out there and throw grain at them and walk away? No, man. Take care of them. Some animals, if you don't know about animals, some animals will eat faster than others because they're not as dominant. So they, whatever portion they have, they eat it real quick. Well, that's not healthy. So you got to watch that and be like, okay, here's his portion. Here's this animal's portion. I'm going to give him a little bit. Let him eat that. Let him digest it. Come back, 5, 10, 20 minutes, depending on the animal, depending on the portion. And you give him another, a third or a fourth of his portion. And you let some time go by so his stomach settles. Because what happens when they're real nervous and anxious, they'll just gobble all that shit up. And they don't give their body time to digest or even chew the food. And so they can get sick and they'll throw up. And I've seen it. I've seen it in animals where they do that. And they sit down and they look all lethargic. And, man, they look like they're in a pitiful case. Their tongue will be hanging out. It's not normal for an animal to have their tongue hanging out. Just out there like that. Just, right after it's eaten, just, head and shit all wobbly. So if you really care about it, you're going to do the things required to, to tend and actually care for that animal. So relating that to brotherhood, man, you're supposed to actually tend to one another, man. It's like, man, I don't want to do anything to offend a brother, so I'm going to make sure that, I don't discomfort this brother. I want to accommodate him, as, to the best of my ability. So anyway, with that, I know brothers have been edified through the Spirit, because that's something that always comes up in the Passover. And it was a daily verse for this book. And it's a good book, and it's a constant reminder. It just puts things in perspective. So, with that, I'm just going to wrap it up right there. Shalom, Akim.